What is going on, everybody? Today we're going to be doing a pretty cool challenge for one of my favorite games of all time, Red Dead Redemption 1. We're going to see if we can beat the game without killing anybody. And I'll just let you know up front, we're going to find ourselves in some pretty impossible situations, but I may have a couple tricks up my sleeve to get us out of them. The main thing we're going to be looking at is the in-game stat screen. We're going to be trying to get these two stats as close to zero as possible, the people killed and the animals killed. That's really going to be our only definition of what a kill is. So with that out of the way, we're on to our very first challenge of the run. Some very, very intimidating enemies, the rabbits. Now the great news is that Bonnie is a very capable ally, and if we just hang back, she's going to take care of the threat for us.
I can already smell that rabbit stew.
So we make our way to the next part of the mission, and thankfully the same strategy as before is going to work. Although it does lead to this kind of funny dialogue.
They all escaped. Some help you are. Let's go. You know, you can actually handle a rifle.
So after that, I decided to keep helping out Bonnie at the ranch. Her missions are super chill, so our holster continues to collect some dust as we cruise on through the game. For our help, we're also gifted a lasso, which is really going to end up becoming the bread and butter for this challenge.
Ain't your day, is it?
As we'll see soon, the lasso is perfect for taking someone out of the fight and getting them reacquainted with the ground right beneath them. And let me tell you, by the end, I will have seen this little hogtie animation again and again and again. Actually, if you're feeling kind of crazy right now, go ahead and comment down below how many times you think I'll tie someone up in this challenge. And if you guess right, then your reward is the satisfaction of being a really good guesser. But if you stick around to the end of the video, I'll make sure to show off the stats page so you can find out what that number is. Alright, so next up I'm going to be giving the local sheriff a hand, and this is when we'll finally see some action. So as it turns out, when John is doing that lasso animation, he is completely invincible, which gives me the opportunity to run at people like a maniac, tie them up, and then charge the next guy. So I can generally say that I was able to progress through the New Austin section of the game pretty smoothly, and so I think at this point I'll be picking up the pace a little bit, and I'll just skip over any mission that goes off without a hitch.
Not a bad shot, Mr. Marston.
In about 15 more seconds, your whole wheel's gonna turn black.
What's up, boys?
Fuck off, boyo. This don't concern you.
When a man with a sing-song voice tells me to fuck off, it always concerns me, boyo.
Alright, so this next part right here was a little bit tricky. I wasn't able to hogtie these guys, so I had to get a little bit creative instead. Oops. Yup. I'm going to shoot the gun out of his hand. But we still need to find a way to eliminate this enemy here, so we're going to go ahead and head down to the saloon and grab a volunteer. Alright, let's scope out the scene here. Yeah, I think this guy over here is going to be doing the trick. So unfortunately, it seems like I've ruffled a couple of feathers here. Really sorry about the disturbance. Now that I've got this guy all the way here, let's see if I can make him work for me. Alright. And just like that, boom! Yep. Got both of these guys killed indirectly. Pretty clever, huh? Yeah. Besides hogtying enemies, we can also disarm them with a well-placed shot, and usually that's enough to cause the enemy to retreat. But there are certain quirks to keep in mind. This game originally came out on console, so to make control aiming more forgiving, Rockstar added bullet magnetism. While this feature makes the game more enjoyable for casual players, this makes things tricky because your bullet doesn't actually go where you aimed. This just means that I need to be careful while I'm shooting. I think it's important to remember that this game was definitely not designed to be played in the way that I'm trying to beat it. In just a minute, you'll see how the developers of Rockstar intended for a pretty quick and badass section that, unfortunately for us, has some pretty strict restrictions to keep you from playing the game outside of a very specific way.
Me that after drinking it for 1 month, they can chew through steel.
What the hell? It's a trap!
Looks like our allies are pretty useless here, so we're going to be on our own. To make matters even worse, the accuracy on this Gatling gun is all over the place. But even if I could somehow precisely hit the gun that each and every enemy is holding, for whatever reason, Rockstar programmed the game so that enemies in this mission could not be disarmed. Do you want to know what the final nail in the coffin is? There's not even a prompt to exit the Gatling gun, so I'm completely stuck in place, with no way to progress but by killing every enemy. So, it seems like I'm stuck, right? Well, at the beginning of this video, I did say I might have a card up my sleeve. What if I told you that the PC port of this game has a bug that's perfect for this exact situation. When you take damage, you can always open up your satchel and use any medicine you have to get back to full health. And when you're out and about in the open world, you can go over to your kit and set up a campsite. But of course, if you're in combat, the game's going to stop you from doing this. Well, what if there was a way to override that failsafe and force the game to let John set up a camp? If with my mouse, I click and hold on the medicine, but don't release, then navigate over to the camp with the arrow keys, and then with perfect timing, I press enter and release the mouse. The game will actually glitch out and force John off of the Gatling gun. I can't believe it actually worked. I think we finally have a chance to beat this mission legit.
What's your name?
You know, it's the darndest thing. I can't remember.
Tell me your name or I won't be responsible for my actions.
Oh, but you will. You will be responsible. This is a fine spot. See you around, cowboy.
Damn you!
Yes, many have.
Alright, you're probably thinking, what the fuck is going on right now? Oh, let me just come clean. That glitch I was explaining back there, I kind of just completely made it up, okay? So what actually happened then? Well, I used a mod menu to get off of the Gatling gun. But before I just told you what really happened, maybe for a second you believed it was real. That I somehow found my way out of this impossible situation. Hey, let's just pretend, for now, that the mysterious stranger is able to bend the rules for me. Just this one time, alright? And honestly, maybe it is somehow possible to do this legit. I did have one attempt right here, where my allies are able to kill one enemy right away, and then a second is actually killed by a fire right there. But with not being able to disarm enemies at all, honestly, and also not being able to move at all, it does seem like this mission might be impossible. And after spending so much time on it, I decided to move on. But yeah, once I'm actually off the Gatling gun, the mission's really not too bad, you know, going around just doing the same old classic strategy. And things keep progressing smoothly until we make our way to the final part of the mission, which does start once again in the Gatling gun. So we do our little sneaky no-clip trick to get out of there, and now we're back on the road. This part's a little bit trickier because we also have enemy wagons with Gatling guns, and you can have that little interaction happen. And it's interesting because you can actually go and lasso and hogtie these Gatling gun gunners, but you do not want to pick these guys up. Yeah, I honestly have no idea what's going on here, but you know, he's supposed to be on my shoulder, but he, for whatever reason, is a million miles away. I mean, look at the mini-map. You can see how he's just, you know, a little bit afraid of me, I think. So that's just a funny little glitch I just thought I had to show. Okay, so then the question is, what is the strategy? How do we take out these Gatling gunners? Well, you can you can literally just walk right up and actually just start driving the wagons. And now you can position these guys in a pretty good spot for their own friends to shoot them and take them out. So if you get lucky enough, there we go. My friend just got shot there. And then from there, just lasso everybody up and mission accomplished.
I can't see any more of them. I think we did it, boys.
Up next, John and Irish are stuck on this little raft. Honestly, though, this mission really wouldn't be too tough if it weren't for these goddamn dynamite throwers. These guys honestly drove me crazy. They killed me and Irish over and over again. And I was surprised to find that even with Deadeye, it's really difficult to shoot the dynamite out of the air. I mean, while it was possible, I really had a hard time doing it consistently. And of course, it's, you know, this has to be one of those missions where even if I very gently shoot the dynamite thrower in the leg or the hand, he's just going to immediately die. The good news, though, is that I found that sticking to the left side of the boat made it so the dynamite would wind up in the water and it would safely explode there. So the strategy became to protect Irish from gunfire by acting as his little body shield. And I'm lucky that while you go into Deadeye mode, the game will make you totally invincible, so I could just soak up as many shots as I need to. But after many attempts, I finally was able to complete it, and here's my live reaction right here. Oh my god. 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 So yeah, like a dingus, I just walk right off the edge just after I completed the hardest part of the mission. And unfortunately there's no checkpoint, so yeah, I was sent back to that checkpoint. And it took me, I think, maybe another like 30 minutes to get back to where I was. So yeah, but after locking in, I finally, was able to complete it for real this time. And with that, we are officially in Mexico. But it took only the first mission to run into a roadblock. A roadblock I'm afraid I just was not able to overcome. As a pacifist, I'm trying to avoid animal kills as well as human kills. But if the objective of the mission is to kill 2 birds with Deadeye, well, the game literally leaves me no choice. So with that, let's add 2 kills to the tally.
No mistake, your Yankee friend here is a fucking cheat.
Easy there, Germany. Calm yourself down.
Oh yeah, you know exactly what you did. Nobody steals from me, especially an American.
These 4 stool sections are very scripted. The goal is to get the blue bar higher than the red bar to win. But in order to get the blue bar high enough, I have to place enough shots that it's going to kill the guy instead of disarm him. So I'm afraid that there's no non-lethal way to deal with Herr Mueller.
I'm getting good at this.
Old Muller always did play his cards too early.
You, the man they call Marston, see? You like killing? Watch me cut her throat.
Nice friends you got here, Mr. Ricketts.
Let me just say really quick, the concept for this mission is just insane. Like, who are these maniacs? Anyways, turns out this guy will die no matter where we hit him. So a little graze on his hand here still kills him. So now the person kill count is officially 2.
I guess we both got problems, man.
Okay, so as insane as this looks, it does not count as a kill. As far as the game is concerned, hey, I just pushed the man, and if he just so happens to glitch under the train, get run over and explode, well, that's the train that killed him, not me. And to really drive the point home, check this out.
Why, hello, my dear.
Hello.
From the game's perspective, I pushed her, and if she happens to fall in water, well, it was the water that killed her, not me. For the sake of this challenge, I wish the game used the same logic when I shot people. It's not me who killed them, I just pulled the trigger, and then a bullet just, happened to kill the guy. Anyways, after a pretty solid attempt, I was able to take out everybody on the train. But, one little problem. Remember that guy that I chucked off the train? Yeah, it turns out he needs to be neutralized as well. Oh well, it was a good attempt.
Oh, goddamn!
So let's try that one more time. Let's lasso our man in the caboose, hog tie him. Now let's catch up to the train, gently push our friends here, and stop the train just in the nick of time. All in a day's work for John Marston.
Stay alert. Something doesn't feel right. Remember, cover us. We need to get to the camp.
So my instinct here was to get off the wagon and get my lasso and start trying to defend DeSanta here, but it turns out, if I jump off, they kind of just leave me behind. Really every man for himself. At this part, I had to wait a pretty long time for my allies to take care of all the enemies. But then at that point, the mission was pretty straightforward, doing the classic strategy of lassoing, hog tying, repeat.
You can do this. You have God on your side. Good luck. Que Dios te proteja.
Alright, so the strategy here is pure speed. Can I disarm the executioner and hog time before he has a chance to pick up his gun and shoot our friend Reyes here? And of course, somehow the attempt where I accidentally try to eat 2 apples instead of taking medicine is the one where I actually am able to do it.
It wouldn't take much to kill you!
Now all that's left is to mop up the rest of the mess. Alright, with everyone hogtied, it's time to progress. I said it's time to progress. So I decided to try cutting the rope and letting our poor soldier friends go, and for whatever reason that seemed to do the trick.
Get the hell out of here!
And with that, we're able to move swiftly along. The game doesn't let you call your horse when you're on the train, so I do a sneaky little thing, jump off, call the horse there, and then get back on. Don't really need much commentary on this mission. At this point in the run, I'm in the zone. Boom, disarm. Hop on the horse. Do a little bit of lassoing. Maybe get a cheeky train kill or two, but hey, train kill, not me. And then, you know, on to the next mission.
Too late to talk about things!
Lucky for you, I arrived when I did.
I guess we're even then.
So at first I tried lassoing and then freeing all of the enemies, but then the mission seemed to soft lock, and Abraham and his allies just kept shooting at nobody. One Mexican soldier became so demoralized he actually decided to immigrate to America. So that's when I decided to try the mission again, and I figured out that the trigger to progress was the death of Captain Espinoza. So I decided to see if I can orchestrate a little bit of an accident.
¡Final llegado!
And with that little bit of friendly fire, the mission is complete. Hey game, wait, what's with all these bodies? That wasn't me, come on now. Hey, ever wanted to rob a train guarded by dozens of soldiers without killing any of them? Drive the Mexican army crazy with this one weird trick. First, we're going to lasso our friend up here, and he's actually a very nonchalant guy who doesn't want to make a scene, so you'll still be in stealth when you yank him off the rooftop aggressively. Next, get in the perfect position to cause a little bit of friendly fire. And thank God Deadeye makes me invincible because there's no way I'd be surviving a Gatling gun point blank. Up next, carefully meander your way around the camp, avoiding gunfire. Get in position behind this Gatling gunner, and hope that he catches a stray. And with that, lasso everybody else. So easy. I wasn't able to progress, but I think it was because I had to despawn some of these enemies. So I decided to let some of these folks go, and then eventually I'm able to continue the mission. Now, when I made my way inside, I did notice 2 dead Mexican soldiers, but When I went to check my stats, I didn't notice any differences, so clearly, you know, I didn't kill these guys. The cutscene killed these guys, so I think we're all clear here.
Hello, old friend. It's been a long time.
Hello, brother. It's good to see you. I've always loved you. Even now.
You know, things are pretty badass and cinematic up until, that. Now, I rush out to be helpful here, but I think my friends have it covered.
Any more of you? Or is that it?
Alright, we are on the final mission in Mexico. Let's see how this duel goes. Alright, well I've already learned my lesson with these duels. If Rockstar wants the man dead, then I'll just play along.
Señor.
Come on! We can still get to my stagecoach! Go then! I'll cover you!
It's Allende and Williamson. Come on, John.
Alright, so now we're on a really tough part of the mission. We need to stop the armored stagecoach. The main trigger for that is to take out the Gatling gunner, as well as the 2 soldiers driving the coach. Now for my strategy to work, I'm going to disarm the soldiers up front so the coach is a little easier to follow. And I've got to say, I'm pretty lucky that Abraham is invincible throughout all of this, because otherwise I would probably fail the mission a lot. As you can see, I'm able to lasso these enemies off of the stagecoach, and I choose to do this when the path of the wagon is closest to the river. Now, I'm going to hogtie these fellas, and I'm sure you can probably guess what my plan is from here. Oh man, this is such a tragic accident. Oh, my clumsy hands, I slipped. Oh my god, and they just fell. Oh, I really hope it doesn't happen again. Oh my god, no, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, what a shame. So with those drivers taken care of, all that's left is for the Gatling gunner to die. And let me just tell you, I've had a lot of attempts sitting here for a while, but as you can see, I just got really, really lucky one time, and Abraham was finally able to kill the Gatling gunner. And with that, we're done with the Mexico portion of the game. So now we make our way over to Blackwater and start working with the government to hunt down the final boss, Dutch van der Linde.
What do you think of this automobile, Mr. Marston? Slow, but so convenient and reliable. Are you comfortable?
No. Over here! I found it!
I don't think you can walk!
So despite having to carry someone over my shoulder the whole time, this mission actually really isn't too bad. I have a pretty competent ally, Agent Fordham. Maybe I thought he was a little bit too competent, because right here I actually hide in this little spot, waiting to see if Agent Fordham is going to just kill all the enemies for me. Turns out he isn't, even after waiting like an hour in real life, but didn't really matter because it turns out I can just take this other path and just walk out like it's no problem. So ended up working pretty well for me. And after that, the mission was really no issue.
Oh, Nastas, come on. Come in, sir. Would you like to take off your slippers? These savages must be spoken to simply in metaphors.
No, sir. I grew up on a reservation and attended school.
Oh, lovely.
Alright, so for this mission, we're going to be deep in the mountains, and we're going to be able to see the power of the lasso. It could just stop a bear in its tracks. So, super duper useful for this right here. And not only can this lasso stop a bear, but it can even stop this little house cat right here. That was pretty close, but I'm able to just make it out. Oh my god. Yeah, good thing these guys can't climb.
Cut out for this. No, not cut out for this at all.
Nope.
They're fucking savages! Savages!
I think we all are.
Not me, sir. I'm from Connecticut.
Yes. Oh, come here.
Good day, sir. Madam.
Me, John!
Hope you just enjoyed some of that absolute cinema back there. But it's right about now we run into our next roadblock, these tricky snipers. So we're completely surrounded on all sides by these snipers, and they're too far away for me to hit them with the lasso. And for whatever reason, I can't even shoot the gun out of their hand. So it seems like we're in a little bit of an impossible situation. And worst of all, if I try to leave the rooftops, the mission fails and says that I've abandoned Professor McDougal. So right here I'm trying a sneaky little strategy. I'm thinking that if I gently nudge the professor down over there, bring him a little bit closer to some of these snipers, and I'm hoping that this will move the area that counts as abandoning the mission. But once I leave the roof, the game says to return to the professor and highlights him as a blue blip, which is pretty silly because this blip is right next to me. Unfortunately, that means that this mission has been coded so that the playable area is fixed around the rooftop rather than around the professor. Also, if you just take a second to think about things, the whole mission is kind of ridiculous. It wants you to go up on the rooftop, have this epic fight, but you can literally just take this fire escape down right here. But yeah, that'd be a little bit too easy, you know? Why take the unguarded path? Let's have a little bit of action, right? I also want to point out another little quirk with this mission. So the rooftops and really Blackwater is completely abandoned, and it's only when you pick up this sniper rifle that the enemies actually spawn in.
Pin down on both sides.
So unfortunately, it looks like I'm left with no choice but to shoot all of the snipers, except for two. I kind of deal with them in a little bit of a sneaky way, but yeah, that's going to add quite a few kills to our kill count. I don't really understand what happens here as well, but if I disarm this specific enemy, he instantly gets hogtied, so fun fact, I guess.
Goodbye, Mr. Marston. Best of luck, dear friend.
I'm getting a little bit of deja vu because now we're back on another rooftop with a sniper. We've got quite a lot of help, but unfortunately for us, they're about as effective as a couple of scarecrows, which means that for us, we'll have to be the ones to intervene. Just like the last mission, we're stuck on the roof. If we try to leave, we'll abandon the mission. One shot is one kill, no matter where I hit. That means if I just tickle the hoof of his horse, that means the man and the horse will die. In the stats, it actually counts as just an animal kill without raising my person kill count. So if I have to pick between killing a person or an animal, I'm sorry, but the animal's gonna be going. But just to be totally transparent, there are some unexpected moments that break the quote-unquote rules that I laid out earlier. So it seems like this horse here has a very thick butt because he was able to survive the first shot. And I wasn't able to replicate this, but it seems like the FBI agents were able to get one kill here. So it does seem like there's some wiggle room to complete this mission with less kills than I did. I'm also forced to kill a few more enemies to progress. I'm allowed to let one member of Dutch's gang escape. Any more than that, and it's game over. So I take out all these runners and let one very lucky guy escape.
Yeah! Who won the lottery? I did! They're making a break for... You see them running from the bank? Take them out! Marston, head into the bank.
The windows from up top. Let's go! Watch out!
So yeah, I get really, really close to dying right here. But I'm able to lock in, and I do a little makeover on the walls as well. But once I take out this little hostage taker, the rest of the mission is a breeze. Oh no, I'm getting some flashbacks. So yeah, just like that mission back in Fort Mercer, we are stuck on the mounted gun once again, and there is absolutely no way to get off. But hey, no worries. I guess we can just do our sneaky little trick like we did last time. You can no-clip off the gun. And what's this? Yeah, it looks like John Marston suffers an immediate heart attack the second he's away from his emotional support machine gun. Or really, I think the trigger is once the enemies start to arrive. I think the game was programmed this way so that if John ever got knocked off of the machine gun, that the mission would just fail right away because they don't want you running around. So I'm messing around in this mission a little bit more, turning on God mode, fast forwarding the time a little bit, and it's really looking pretty tough if I even want to progress at all. The army is really not much help at all. As you can see, I am waiting the entire day, and they just are not able to get any kills here. So really my main strategy here is kind of just hoping and praying that these guys will end up killing each other. And the good news is that we have some pretty zealous dynamite throwers and some fire bottle throwers. So as you can see right there, tragic little accident, little miscommunication, a little friendly fire. But after we got a couple of kills from these dynamite throwers, the enemies seem to settle into their positions. And then at that point it's like, well, I'm gonna have to kill them myself. So that's what I do. I try to kill only as many as I need to progress, but I didn't really spend too much time on this mission. I also want to point out a funny little thing that I noticed. It seems like if I am not looking at enemies, they are much less likely to hit me. So it really seems like that ostrich strategy of poking my head in the sand and saying, la la la, you can't see me. Yeah, seems like it really works.
We should have done this a long time ago! They're retreating! Cease fire and mount up! We're going after them!
Alright, moving on to the next section. We are on rails, which means that we just need to survive. So like a very shy ostrich, I keep my head down and chug medicine when I need to.
Cavalry!
It's such a fucking funny. What the fuck just happened? Oh man. How do we get through this little challenge? It seems like we've got to kill these horses, right? Well, turns out if I shoot just the wagon, we're actually totally good. If you look very, very closely, I mean, the horses seem to just disappear instantly, and it doesn't add any kills to my kill count in the stats screen. So I think I'm in the clear, as kind of insane as this looks. This next section was honestly really tricky. So the main goal here is that we have 2 army soldiers. They're planting some dynamite. We need to defend them. So we're on the clock. I also want to take a quick moment, now that the challenge is so close to ending, to just mention what I've learned so far. So if I shoot an enemy's gun out of his hand, sometimes he'll just run away. But there'll be other times where he'll run to the nearest gun, pick it up, and keep fighting. Sometimes the enemy will die when I disarm him, even if I'm careful to hit only the gun. This happens only when the enemy is already hurt from a previous shot. So this section of the mission was really tricky because I have another ally that's also shooting at the enemies. And there are moments where I go to disarm somebody and they end up dying. And that's because my ally already shot them. So to be honest, you know, this guy's messing me up. And I feel bad because, you know, he's only trying to help. You know, I think the captain here doesn't really realize I'm doing the pacifist challenge, so I'll cut him some slack. But after being quick enough to outshoot the captain, we're able to finally pass this section. It did take me quite a lot of tries.
You tend to your wounded. I gotta face Dutch alone. Looks like it's me and you, John. You should have stayed at home.
Damn, you know what? That's kind of a good point. I think I'll take his advice. And John and Dutch lived happily ever after.
Anyone home? What you cooking?
Same thing I've been cooking the past 15 years with the hope of poisoning you.
Ain't working so well.
Not yet.
Be honest, though. Tastes bad enough to kill a man.
They've broken into the silo again and are eating all the corn out from it.
Of course, my angel.
Wait, get out of there.
All right, all right.
Come on. Scat. Shh.
Oh, brother. Looks like we have to deal with the birds again. Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't figured out a way to get them killed indirectly, so I'm just going to kill the minimum amount. Every time a bird swoops in, I take him out. And that's going to lead to 5 more animal kills. That's going to bring our total up to 9.
Finally. Now about that stew.
Alright, so it's time for some father-son bonding time. Getting this elk killed turned out to be a pretty ridiculous affair. Jack seriously has got to work on his aim because after a lot of chasing, he really was not able to hit the elk. So I decided to mix up the strategy. I carefully corralled the elk over to Manzanita Post.
You can do this.
And then I pissed off one of the campers and got him to shoot at me. I held the elk still with my lasso. After waiting for long enough, that pissed off camper made a real lucky shot, or unlucky shot, depending how you look at it. And that shot hit, killed the elk, and I was able to secure that pelt.
Stay calm.
Yeah, no, just kidding. Turns out Jack really locked in and was able to get that kill, so good on you, son. Before the mission wraps up, we've actually got to get one more kill. But the good news is that Jack is a much better shot with the revolver than the rifle, and so we're able to wrap up this mission no problem.
Saw how I cut the meat, Jack. Now it's your turn. Damn dog!
So I have a little bit of a close encounter there, but I just hop right up onto this rock and the wolves aren't able to touch me, and so I leave my young son, who's still learning how to shoot, to take care of the wolves all by his own, and he does a fantastic job. So proud of you, boy. And yeah, the mission's really no issue.
Oh, help me! I'm hurt!
Jack, stay down! Don't move! Keep your head down! Let's go!
Alright, so there's a little bit to unpack here. Yes, your eyes do not deceive you. You just saw a bear fall off a cliff and survive. But don't worry, he's at about half health right now, and he's making his way right back up so I can eat his ass down again and finish him off. Alright, so first things first, in this mission, the bear AI is just like absolutely atrocious. And pretty clearly, I think Rockstar intended for you to gun him down right away and not really linger around. There's a lot of spots that the bear just refuses to reach, like the very top of the cliff. I noticed that if I am on my horse and I lasso the bear will actually come to me. And that can make it so he'll actually come up to that spot where he never normally really walks, and the bear can actually just walk right off the cliff. The eagle-eyed viewers among you might have noticed that for the past couple of missions, I'm actually riding a giant albino buffalo. I thought it matched really well with my white gentleman's attire. You know, if I dress like an angel, it shows that I'm really trying to keep my hands clean. But to be totally honest, I've spawned in this buffalo using a mod menu. The buffalo actually has more health than a normal horse, which means I'm able to survive a direct attack from the bear. But just to prove that you could do things legit, here's me completing the mission with just a horse. I'm actually taking advantage of a pretty underused game mechanic. If I hold the stop button on my horse, it actually lets me hold my ground when I've got something lassoed. Although sometimes the bear still drags me around anyways. If you try to lasso something on foot, this happens instead. And with the second go around here, I'm able to throw the bear off the cliff. But I noticed that he attacked my horse and the horse didn't die. So I restarted the mission just to get to the bottom of this. So as you can see, the bear attacks the horse and the horse dies in one hit, just like we expect. I restart again, but this time after the attack, the horse is unharmed. And the bear attacks again, and again. But each time, my horse takes it like a frickin' champ and isn't phased at all. So honestly, I have no idea what is going on here. and I promise you I'm not in God mode or anything. So I think I'll just chalk things up to this mission being a little bit glitchy. I decided to do some further testing on my son to see if he'll make a good human shield, but he's not very helpful, unfortunately.
Help us!
So I do decide to get some payback. Anyways, back to the main attempt. At the end of the day, I'm able to complete the mission without killing the animal, so, I'll give myself a pat on the back.
So, you ever hear talk about them machines that can make a man fly?
The miracle of flight! Into the wild blue yonder, Marston! Oh dear.
Well, sure, Paul. Everybody knows about that.
Alright, everybody. We're on the final mission of the game. And all I'll say is that using our usual methods, it's really not too difficult to get through this as a pacifist. I know this is a 15-year-old game, but I really don't want to spoil the ending. It's one of those things that you absolutely have to experience yourself. And with that, the Pacifist Challenge is officially over. Let's go ahead and do a little recap and see how we did. In the New Austin chapter of the game, we're able to blitz through 23 missions without having to kill a single soul. But unfortunately, our perfect streak ends at the mission, the assault on Fort Mercer. Earlier in the video, I no-clipped out of the Gatling gun so I could even have a chance. But unless someone is able to discover a legit way to get off, it looks like we have no choice but to get some blood on our hands. I only gave it one attempt, but I had to kill 43 enemies to progress. Jeez. Alright, moving on to the Mexico section of the game. I'm forced to kill 2 birds in the mission, The Gunslinger's Tragedy. Then in the mission, Lucky in Love, I'm forced to kill 2 men in duels. And finally, An Appointed Time starts the mission with another forced duel kill. And last but not least, we're in the West Elizabeth part of the game. These next 2 missions will fail if I leave the roof, leaving me no choice but to kill enemies to progress. In The Prodigal Son Returns to Yale, I'm forced to kill 6 snipers. In the mission, Great Men Are Not Always Wise, I kill 2 horses, as well as sniping 6 more enemies. There might be a way to get less kills, because very rarely I noticed the other lawmen were able to take an enemy out. But this was the best I was able to do. For the mission, And You Will Know the Truth, we have another forced machine gun section. It took me 6 kills to progress. This is another mission with potential wiggle room on the kill count. With some better luck, I might have been able to get some more friendly fire kills. And finally, we have the mission Pestilence, which requires at least 5 bird kills in order to avoid a mission fail. If we could only figure out a way to get the birds to kill themselves. I personally couldn't think of anything, but I'm open to ideas. Let's see the final tally. Drum roll, please. 9 animals killed and 21 people killed. However, if you include the assault on Fort Mercer, that's going to be an extra 43 people killed, which brings our grand total of the minimum amount of kills to get through the entirety of Red Dead Redemption to be 64 people. So out of the 57 main story missions in the game, 8 of them need at least 1 kill to progress. That leaves us 49 missions that can be completed as a total pacifist. So all in all, I'll say the challenge was pretty successful. I was able to avoid quite a lot of kills. Hey, remember when I asked you how many people you think I'd hogtie by the end of the game? Do you have an answer? Alright, ready? 335. Yeah, damn. Kind of a lot. I really did watch that hogtie animation quite a number of times. Alright, and finally, I want to give a really big shout out to Dark Viper AU for his GTA 5 Pacifist Challenge. 6 years ago, he made that video, and ever since been inspiring fans to finish their favorite Rockstar game while trying to minimize the number of required kills. A great example is Iazar and his Goodest Boy in the West challenge for Red Dead 2. This man also started the challenge way back in 2019 and is still going to this day. And so you might be thinking, why couldn't he be a beast like me and just get it all done in one video? Well, it's because each game, and also no shade to him, he's awesome. It's because each Rockstar game is more linear than the last. In an attempt to streamline the game and make it more accessible and less frustrating for a casual audience, the game ends up becoming overly restrictive. For a perfect example of this, check out Roger Clark, the performance actor for the main character in Red Dead 2, as he plays through the game.
All right, gentlemen, here we are.
Karen?
Go to work.
No, wait. This is my horse, right? Okay. I can't get my friggin'... Why can't I get my guns? Oh, that sucks.
All right, keep it cool and follow me, fellers.
What? The gang was abandoned. And here's me just trying to get my shotgun. Man. I gotta say, that kind of blows. That's not amazing. That's not amazing. Alright. That's not particularly good.
Alright. Follow me.
Yeah, let's do this again.
In front of you.
Jesus. Yeah. Just by lingering a little. I was just trying to get the shotgun off my horse.
Whoa! Leave the horses here off the main drag.
So as you can see, Arthur is holding the rifle in his hand, but as soon as he gets off of the horse, the rifle teleports right back onto the horse. And this is because Rockstar wants you to have a very specific loadout for this mission, because they want the mission to be done in a very specific way.
And I still... Okay. Alright, fine.
Yeah? Go to work.
Of course.
If you want to learn more about the changes in Rockstar's game design, you need to give this video by Nakey Jakey a watch. Alright, those are my shoutouts. Thank you so much for watching this video. It was a pretty fun challenge and a great way to replay a classic game from my childhood. Alright, peace.